She was saying,
you need to back up. You need to back up. Do not touch me. Back up.
Well, you see it there, another angle in Texas. A black mother and her daughter physically assaulted by a white Texas sheriff's deputy face a new struggle tonight. The mom and teenagers seen in this new video say they've been run out of their own town. They fear for their safety after receiving death threats. This is Making the Case. I'm Sharon Reed in for Yodit Tewolde. And new tonight, that family is also gearing up, they say, to take legal action against the deputy and his department. First told you about this story on Monday night. The Kaufman County Sheriff's Department says deputies were responding to 911 calls last week reporting a girl behaving erratically, jumping into traffic, possibly trying to take her own life. But again, you're looking at the encounter. The family of the girl in question, Nekia Trigg, says she was simply upset. She was crying, walking home after having an argument with her cousin. When Kaufman County Sheriff's Deputy Connor Martin tried to stop Nekia, even though she said she was just trying to get home, he grabbed her by the shoulder, then slammed her to the ground, pinning her there by sitting on her back.
Slow down and talk to me. Okay, well, here, hold on, okay? You're not in trouble, but you gotta stay right here. Sit down, okay? Sit down, okay?
All right, so she's screaming, "You're hurting me." He's telling her to lay down, and then we see this. Very disturbing. She also repeatedly said she couldn't breathe until she started foaming at the mouth. The Sheriff's Department claims the deputy in question here was simply trying to restrain Nekia to save her from herself. Nekia's mother, Antanique Ray, rushed to the scene. She's in the footage too. You see her. She's trying to check on her daughter. She was eventually detained herself and charged with assaulting an officer. And back with us tonight is Antanique Ray, along with the family attorney, Kim T. Cole. And Antanique, it's good to have you with us again. Difficult under these circumstances. I know we talked Monday night. What's happened since then? Because your family's up against it. You've left your own town. How fearful are you?
First off, it's not my town. We live over there. That's just all that is. We live in Forney in Kaufman County. But it's just kind of crazy the things that people have been saying. And then a lot of people that live in Kaufman, I don't know if they know this police personally or if they're just, back in the blue or whatever it may be. But I just said my kids leave home because we didn't feel safe. A lot of things that the people are putting on social media, like I'm not even reading any of the stuff anymore. So if I hear something, it's people telling me or sending me what the people are saying. I can't even read any of the comments anymore because it makes me even more depressed, more frustrated, more upset. Because regardless of how people feel, there is still no way. I don't understand how a person could think that that still was appropriate, regardless.
Yeah. And again, you fled. You fled where you live. I wonder, have you called authorities? And if so, what are they saying?
I haven't called anyone because, what can they do about people making threats on social media? So, no, I haven't made a phone call to anyone. We've screenshot a couple of the messages or whatever, but I don't really care to look at any of that. The best thing I could do is just have my kids leave home and, make sure they're safe and not there.
And tell us, your family, your daughter, others, are they in fear of their life tonight?
Well, I have a 6-year-old granddaughter, and of course, the kids are watching this and looking at all the different outlets that it's on or whatever. So she's seen it, and she is very intelligent. So she understands. She doesn't quite understand what's going on, but she know what happened. She doesn't know anything about racial issues. So it's just to her, the police did grandma and her auntie wrong. So she doesn't understand why she can't be at home in her own room. My daughters, they don't want to be there, but at the same time, they don't want to have to be, displaced and from here to there because we're not able to go home and feel comfortable. I didn't even know that my daughter Nekia has been sleeping with not only her door locked, but with a knife in her door. Because I finally, after I thought about the fact that I just hadn't had a full conversation to where she was expressing to me. When I finally did talk to her the other day, and she was like, "Yeah, Mama," because I told her we were moving, and she was like, "Yeah, Mama, I don't feel comfortable here anyway. I don't really want to have to be at people's house, but I don't feel comfortable here. I've been having a knife in my door every night, and I really haven't been going to sleep till about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning."
Yeah. Let's bring in your attorney now, Kim T. Cole. Attorney Cole, I know you're working to get Antanique's charges dropped. First you have the incident, then you have the mother charged. Now you have this where people are, purportedly threatening this family. The charges. You are doing something grassroots, a campaign. You say this is going to take enlisting everyone's help to get the attention of the Kaufman County District Attorney, Early Wiley. Explain.
So there are numerous organizations that have reached out to us who are interested in assisting in this matter. Obviously, we all saw the video. Antanique Ray did not commit any crime. She did not do anything wrong. She did what any mother would do when they saw their child in distress
Yeah.
and being pinned to the ground by a man. And so she did nothing wrong. And numerous organizations have reached out, numerous grassroots organizations have reached out. There will be scheduled protests, scheduled um, direct actions taken in order to bring awareness to this matter and in order to impress upon the district attorney the importance of justice being served in this case, which means the charges not being pursued.
Yeah, and so we're showing the footage not as wallpaper, but because it's important, right, for people at home to use their own sense, their own eyes, and look at what went down here. I know you intend to bring a civil suit against the sheriff's deputy and the sheriff's department. Do you believe that the charges, because we've seen this playbook before, are being leveraged to try to prevent that?
Sometimes that is the case. We will have to let that play out, but I have seen that be the case in several of the cases that I personally have handled, and in cases that other attorneys have handled. They do bring charges as leverage, and hopefully here we are successful in getting those charges dropped.
I'm not a trained psychologist, but I do want you to comment, Kim, on the mental health issue that was raised here. Antanique, I know you said your daughter was simply upset. That's what we saw. Had a fight with her cousin, some tears. Didn't seem to be behaving erratically. Attorney, what's the response to the Kaufman Sheriff's Department saying this was done because they believed they needed to protect Nekia from herself, that she was perhaps even suicidal?
First of all, if you are responding to a mental distress call, there is no need to respond with any level of force. Here, if the officer sincerely believed that there was a teenage female who was in mental distress, why in the world would he respond with such force? That is not, officers are there to protect and serve. And he did not protect Nekia, nor did he serve her. He threw her on the ground and sat on her. You would not see an officer do that to an animal. They wouldn't even do that to a dog. And so
Yeah.
for the sheriff's department to take the position that this was justified and that this was some kind of way lawful and the right thing to do, they're absolutely wrong. That just, to me, indicates there is a systemic issue with law enforcement not recognizing the humanity of Black girls. We saw it with Micaiah in Ohio, where they rolled up
Yeah.
on a yard full of Black girls and started shooting. You saw it with Dajaria Becton in McKinney, Texas. They are dehumanizing Black girls. They don't recognize them because as human. That's all I can think of because law enforcement, first of all, should not be called upon to respond to mental health issues. They are not trained mental health professionals. They do not know how to handle those calls. We've seen far too often where families will
Mm-hmm.
call law enforcement or they'll just dial 911 asking for help, and officers show up and utilize deadly force against someone who needed mental health assistance. This is not the way these calls should be handled. And I personally believe that law enforcement should not respond to mental health calls. They are trained to
Yeah.
respond to criminal activity, and there was no crime committed here.
Yeah, and, you know, attorney, training to deal with mental health, that seems warranted across the land. I don't know that there is training to have certain officers see black and brown people in a human way with empathy, and that seems to be the crux of the matter. Antanique, I want to finish with you, though. You know, people talk about closure, they talk about healing. This seems to be a life-altering event for you, your daughter, the emotional toll on you and your family. What do you need now to move past it?
Oh, that's a question that I'm still even trying to answer myself, because this situation has just caused like a complete shift in our lives. I have not been able to go
Mm,
to work. My daughter has not been able to go to work. My son was, headed to North Point this year for his junior year. My granddaughter for her first grade year. Now they have to wait because they're going to have to go to school in Dallas until we relocate, and it's just like everything is just upside down, and I'm really sick of looking at the videos. I'm sick of,
yeah,
it's just, I mean,
yeah,
being a black mother, period, is a hard job, and it's scary already. This is something that I would think I would have to deal with my boys, not my daughters. So it's like every day something else hits me, or I think of something else that makes me feel some type of way, because this is really our reality. This is really our reality right now. And every morning I wake up, I have to think about it when I'm waking up at someone else's house, when my kids are texting and calling and we're having to check in from different locations, when I didn't even realize that school start this week because my mind is so turned
hmm,
around. Like,
yeah. Well, yeah. Listen, you have every right to be upset and to see uncertainty after exactly what's gone down here. We feel for you, not identifying where you are tonight for obvious reasons. We want the best, and you deserve respect. So, Antanique Ray, attorney Kim T. Cole, please update us. Please come back and let us know how you're doing. Again, the support is there. Thanks so much, ladies.